Hello everybody, this is Mira, and this is another matchup review, this time for Birdie. I think Birdie can be annoying. He has long reach. So Zonk is actually fairly effective at going through fireballs at numerous ranges. It can be kind of annoying. So if they have charge for it and they're ready, you have to be very, very careful. Because even at like really close ranges like this, it can stop it. So you just have to be careful about throwing fireballs around Birdie. If they're too slow, I mean that's a big punish for you. Or if you outspace them a little bit, you can kind of bait them. But you have to know what ranges that bullhorn is going to reach you and clip you, especially when you extend your hurt box by throwing the fireball out. You just gotta be very careful. It can be kind of tricky, so be careful. Neutral, Birdie has an advantage there, but it's not unwinnable. There's a lot of things you can do to fight it out. So this big normal right here, Stand Heavy Punch, it's a lot more interactable now. You can whip punish it pretty easily with crouch medium punch, crouch heavy punch. Oops, I hit the wrong button. But yeah, it has a decent lingering hitbox now. It didn't used to the first few seasons, but they nerfed it and now it's a lot more interactable. If you have Stand Light Kick, can clip it from certain ranges. It can counter poke it. Same with crouch light punch and crouch medium punch. So, especially if you have bar, this is a really simple solution to them just hitting a lot of buttons. You can just counter poke them. So another big poke that they have is Stand Medium Punch. This is really, really good. It got nerfed a little bit though. You can whip punish it with crouch medium punch and crouch medium kick. So if you're standing outside this range, you can kind of fish with crouch medium kick. Because it's kind of like Mika's stand. It has a little bit better of a hitbox than Mika's Stand Medium Punch, but you can clip it on with like as a counter poke, or you can just straight up whip punish it. So same with crouch medium punch. That's another great one to use. You can also do crouch heavy punch if you can. It's a little bit harder. Stand Fierce also works. So this button is whip punishable now. It was always whip punishable. It's a little bit easier. Oops. You can try to crouch light punch, counter poke as well. You just gotta know that you're extending your hurt box, so it might be a little bit harder. Cause that hitbox is very, very good. And this is what a lot of times they're looking to start their offense with, is a stand medium punch confirm into bullhorn or something. And another thing that's just a nuisance is crouch light punch. Crouch light punch has a really good like hitbox. And it's kind of hard to interact with. But if they're just doing this a lot, you can try to like counter poke like outside of like this range with your crouch medium punch. Because if you fail, like you're gonna get hit by with like 40 damage. But if you succeed, you get you get your damage and you get the Oki, which is really, really effective. I think Birdie loses the matchup once she knocks him down. Like the pressure that Laura has, I think, is better than the pressure that Birdie has. So she can really snowball things really quickly. So when you're pressuring him, I go for like crouch short, crouch jab, and like normal throws. I think normal throws are super effective because he's only a 4-frame character. So like once you get him really scared, because you can kind of loop pressure with the normal throws into light bolt. And then if you have that 0 bolt consistent, they can't challenge. Or even if you're just getting -1s consistently, you're trading out and going back to neutral. But once they get counter hit once by that stand light punch after light bolt, you really can put the fear in them, and you can start going for like command grabs after the light bolt and stuff like that to really mess with them. And then after you like do that, you can just go right back to your safe like easy pressure like shimmies and crouch short, crouch jab. And I think I think that's a really effective strategy. Just really layering like the risk reward. Going from like nice and easy, then going a little bit aggressive, and then going right back to like nice and tight. I think that's really effective. So Birdie doesn't have any throw invul anymore, so there's not as much RPS on his wake up. I mean, V-shift is a thing, obviously now, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't beat normal throws. So like normal throws are just super strong against Birdie in my opinion. It's like the shimmy throw game is really good. Set wake up. Okay, so this armor on frame 1, the only character in the game that has armor on frame 1. So you do have to be careful about what you're meeting with. So if you're only +1, and say you do the medium ender, you can just try to go for a command grab or throw. But you can also go for a stand jab and block after your +1. You can also go for a crouch short or something. So there are things that you can do to block. In time, you can do a crouch dab. So this is actually a really effective meaty. You crouch dab because you'll either be +2, or you'll just do 1 hit of armor and then you'll block it. Because his armor is on frame 1, but the move is so slow to start up. It's almost like a Urian like reversal almost in a way because of how slow it is. Now with the medium or the EX bolt knockdown, you can do crouch short, crouch dab, you chain the normals, and you actually beat the armor before it even has a chance to have its hitbox out. And this will be the same for light bolt. So this is why crouch short, crouch dab is super effective against Birdie. Because they can't backdash, they can't jump, and they can't armor you. So you can loop this if they don't block. Like, it's that pseudo infinite. So it's just something to keep in mind, that if you're really scared of the armor, go for a normal throw, or if you're like, no, I think they might also back away, crouch short, crouch dab. They'll beat everything except super. So that's something that's really good against Birdie. Another thing in neutral against Birdie, like, you're really, like, if they ever do set up the can against you, like, if they set up the can, they usually, here, let me make them back up. They usually, like, walk with the can, right? A lot of times I'll walk to meet them, so I don't lose space. I'm probably gonna I'm eating a mix-up either way. There's a fucking can on the screen. So the best thing is I either do that and just take a normal throw, and sometimes they mess up. They go for like a jump or something, and then I'm usually out of the way in time, or you can block in time. And you get out of the way, depending on how late they jump. So as my personal, like, I'm already losing. I lost that interaction if they were able to set up the can. So I just try to mitigate my losses and try to gain space. And if they throw the banana, which one's the banana? I don't really play Birdie. Yeah, if they throw the banana, they're just waiting for you to come to them. So I just don't do anything. I just kind of stay outside of their range and just be like, nah, I'm not going to you. A lot of times they'll set up the banana and sweep. So if they like try to sweep you, so there's a couple punishes for sweep. The most common one is light bolt. You can also, if you're close enough, crouch medium punch. But if you're like around max range, yeah, your options are kind of slim. Except there's a sweet spot in the light bolt that it'll either whiff, or you'll actually be +3, and you'll be able to get a stand jab into another light bolt. So I think sometimes it is worth the risk. If you know the max range that light bolt will whiff, see, that was +3. You can get another jab. It's really cool, actually. You hit on the later active frame because they're crouching. But sometimes, I guess they're out of range. I usually think it's pretty consistent. But EX Bolt, guaranteed. Anywhere. It's guaranteed anywhere. So if you're like, you have a bar and they sweep, you're like, all right, whatever. I'll take 152, 185 with you doing 17 chip. Thank you for letting me in. So I think bar is really useful that way. EX clap pressure or whatever is, I don't think it's the most useful. I think it's really good for punishes against Birdie. Because there's another good punish when he has you knocked down. I think I overruled it. So if they try to do like a lot of times after, whoops, a lot of times after bullhead knockdown, they'll try to set up a can or something because they're like, oh, you might back roll and be super far away. After bullhead, I usually quick rise, and if I have armor or if you have meter, it's guaranteed. Oops. Oops. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so EX is guaranteed. What the hell? I was like, what are you doing? But yeah, that's why I think quick rising after this is really, really effective. You can also try to medium bolt, but I don't know. You're gonna be too far away. EX bolt is like guaranteed. That's why like having your meter for those punishes, either in the sweep or them setting up a can, especially they can't even do it in neutral. If they try to set it up in neutral when you have EX bolt, like that's free in. They just can't do that. You turn a lot of Birdie's options off, and also your light kick and crouch jab buffers become that much stronger because you'll get that knockdown. That really, really good knockdown where they can't armor out of you, which is a really, really good buff actually. Thank you, Capcom. A lot of times, if I have a lot of health and stun against Birdie, I'll take the command grab. Most of the time, or a normal throw, because it's not great, but they don't get any Oki off of it. So whenever they do command grab, just always look for that dash up. Because yeah, you don't wanna eat fake pressure from Birdie. So it can be kind of annoying though, when they're in V trigger, and they do what is command grab is punches, right? There you go. And they do something like that, or yeah, it's so annoying. Yeah, they'll do something like that to try to armor through you. Cause they'll be like, oh, this is fake. And you might be too late on your reaction. And they're looking for like that fake reaction. Like that like, oh, I'm trying to count on you being slow. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in training mode, Sabo. Yeah, so if you're early, you can stuff this. But sometimes they might even spend meter for it. But you can just punish like this because it's they're like -3. So it can be a guaranteed punish, or if you're late, they can do armor on frame 1 and try to clip you out of it. It's really annoying, but it's a huge risk by them. So their bullhead, EX bullhead is not really punishable by Laura. This is why also hoarding your meter can be a good idea, especially like to close around. This is only punishable by super. She can't punish it any other way. So that's why I think meter for either EX bolt or super, I think is actually, instead of just only EX clap or whatever, is I think a very viable route for resource management against Birdie, and I think it's pretty important. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I mean EX, when they have a bar, you always have to be aware of dolphin dive, just be able to neutral jump it. I would just practice like reacting to it in training mode, just so you can see the startup and like see what it looks like and be like, okay, you instantly just see the move startup and be like, now your reaction is just to jump. It's annoying. I'm kind of free to it, I'm not gonna lie. But that's where everything else, because I'm focusing on everything else in the matchup. That's why a lot of things catches me by surprise. That's why always keeping aware of your opponent's meter is super important. So in regards to VT2, they don't really get a lot of safe activations, so never ever jump on a birdie with VT2. You could say never jump on a birdie ever, but like it's hard to time anti-airs with yeah. But there's a dead spot like around here where you'll beat his anti-air. So a lot of cross-ups are actually really viable against Birdie now, because a lot of times some birdies haven't gotten used to the change yet, and they're like, I can crouch medium punch everything, and you can catch them by surprise. That's not the case with VT2. He goes right up in the air. You're gonna die. Like you're gonna die. It's a lot of damage. For people, like a lot of people just fish for stand fierce because they're like, well, if I get it, it's like, oh, and I can't be punished because it's -2. Like oh, I'm only -2, whatever. So you can just jump this. You can kind of OS it a little bit and just be like, if you jump the cancel window, which is kind of nice. So if they ever do stand fierce into like VT chain cancel a lot, you just jump it and punish them. And a lot of times I just don't mind them doing like dumb like chain cancels, because like it's not a big deal to me, because being -2 right in front of Birdie's face, you know what? Like I get to have a throw mix up against you. Like this is not the best case scenario for Birdie. You can also armor through it if they do like a sweep into the lane. That's like, there's just so many gaps in a lot of his pressure that it's really consistent. Yeah. I think that covers most of it. I mean, there's some stuff during his pressure, like, that I didn't cover like super well, but like the biggest thing you want to worry about is just getting knocked down by this. This is when his pressure becomes real. When you get hit by Bullhorn. Oops. I mean, obviously if you get hit by the chain, but like this, he doesn't get great pressure after Bullhead. So it is what it is. Yeah, just you really have to manage your risk reward in this matchup. You just gotta know how much damage you're willing to take. Like, all right, I want to jump the command grab. Like, all right, you wanted to jump the command grab, and here is what happened. You get like 418 stun. Like that's why it can get snowball really quick. Instead of taking the command grab, which is 200, but they don't get a follow-up after it. They get a follow-up after the combo. It's more damage, if I can actually do a real combo. Yeah, it's more damage, more stun, and they get Oki. Yeah, you really just gotta manage that risk reward. Alright, that's it for me. I love you guys. Be safe. Have a wonderful day. I do coaching. I really like coaching. If you guys want to hit me up for that. Yeah, follow me on this channel, YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and all that fun stuff. Alright, love you guys. Be safe.